Mr. Gardiner got into the heated exchange with TalkRadio host Julia HartleyBrewer over what Labour would have done if left responsible for ending the Brexit deadlock. The MP for Brent North claimed that the deadlock was caused by Brexit Secretary David Davis after he agreed to the way in which negotiations would be formatted on the first day of talks. When grilled by HartleyBrewer, Mr. Gardiner was unable to say what Labour would have done in that situation and instead said that Britain is 6 months into talks with the EU. The row erupted when the Ms. HartleyBrewer insisted an answer. She said, "It's a legitimate question, Barry. If you think that was a mistake, and I'm not saying I disagree with you, but what would you have done in that situation?" Sky BBC Barry Gardiner claimed David Davis should not have agreed to the Brexit talks format. Mr. Gardiner said, "I would criticize the European Union because they are now holding to ransom the second stage of the talks in a way that actually you can't determine. Therefore, on day one when David Davis agreed how to progress on the border issues in Northern Ireland, a precondition about talks on the final deal, that was a mistake." Ms. HartleyBrewer said that if David Davis refused to agree to the format of talks, then the EU may have completely refused to talk to the UK, but Mr. Gardiner did not answer the question and said, "We are talking counterfactuals in the past." Ms. HartleyBrewer then demanded Mr. Gardiner answer the question. She said what was the right decision to refuse to that timetable. "So when the EU say we wouldn't even sit at the table, then what would you have done? You can't criticize unless you provide an alternative." But Mr. Gardiner said he wouldn't have made the mistake that David Davis did, despite Ms. HartleyBrewer explaining that the option to dismiss the format of talks was not an option available. Mr. Gardiner lashed out and said, "Sorry, so you're now the person who is saying that whatever the option on the table that the EU gives us is the one that we should be going with?"